Hi there, my name is Jamie Hargis,
And my name is Tyler Rowling.
and we're here today representing the Wellbeing and Health Promotion Department and the Live Well Aztecs Leading the Way to Wellbeing initiative. Have you heard of this initiative? Hint, you might have heard it at orientation. Well, this initiative is an interdepartmental collaboration and serves you as a student by bringing together the health, wellness, and well-being services and programs on campus to show our commitment to all Aztecs living well during their time here at SDSU and long after. In a previous presentation, we covered some of the services and resources available to you here on campus. There are many departments and resources for health and wellness on campus. There are many different aspects of wellness and well-being. This model we will be using today depicts 8 dimensions of wellness. We want to encourage you to think about health outside of just your physical health and going to the doctors. While that is one part of wellness, this diagram shows that there are many more. An 8-dimensional wellness model is an effective way to think of ourselves holistically. The dimensions are all interconnected, and an individual should strive for balance across the dimensions. These 8 dimensions of wellness include emotional wellness, financial wellness, social, spiritual, occupational, physical, intellectual, and environmental.
Now, we're not going to cover this model in length, but we are going to focus on the intersection of 3 of the dimensions: physical, emotional, and intellectual. As we discussed, they all overlap and play into each other, so we're going to discuss these 3 dimensions in the context of a very common issue sweeping through universities across the nation: sleepiness in afternoon classes. So for this following set of questions, ask yourself if you agree or disagree. I believe that there is a direct correlation between my health and my academic success. I find it is harder to concentrate immediately after lunch. I feel like I get enough rest. I commit time in my normal routine to being healthy. I have healthy coping strategies for dealing with stress. It is easy for me to balance my responsibilities. I feel that it is hard for me to stay motivated towards the end of the day. I make sure to eat well, get restorative sleep, exercise, and deal with my stress in a healthy way every day.
Have you experienced lethargy or tiredness in the afternoon, specifically after lunch? This is a very common problem, and although it's a bummer and something that most people don't want to have to deal with, it can be an even bigger problem when it comes to staying alert and getting the most out of your classes. You're here at SDSU for a lot of reasons, and I'm willing to bet one of the biggest is succeeding academically and getting your degree. So our goals for today's presentation are to 1, address a problem we believe is very common at SDSU and really just with people in general. 2, to educate and discuss the factors that lead to afternoon fatigue. 3, to provide helpful strategies for you to combat this problem. 4, to assist you in selecting strategies that would work for you personally and that you would actually be willing to try. And finally, to encourage you to attempt to change some of your behaviors and increase your energy level for the afternoon. You should have a My Strategies worksheet with you. As we go through each of the components of the presentation to follow, we want you to choose one strategy that you would like to implement into your lifestyle and use the tips to develop 3 mini goals that would help you implement these strategies into your life. Make sure you're thinking about what would actually work for you. We want you to leave here with some options that you may actually implement to help fight afternoon fatigue.
Let's start by talking about how we fuel our bodies and how this interacts with our afternoon energy levels and concentration abilities. So how many people have ever felt tired after eating? What type of food has made you feel this way? And why do you think that is? We are now going to be covering some strategies that can help you overcome these barriers and implement some healthy behaviors and options into your lifestyle. We will also talk about why these strategies will help you with your energy levels and staying alert in afternoon classes. As we go through each of these strategies, I want you to pick one from each category, so nutrition in this case, and write down the one you think will work the best for you on your My Strategies worksheet. Number 1, starting your day off right. Breakfast is the meal that sets the stage for the entire day. Studies show that breakfast helps keep you alert, starts your metabolism for the day, and keeps you satisfied until lunch. But a healthy breakfast is the key. Good options include whole grain cereals, breads, fruit, and lean protein, instead of donuts, pastries, and white breads. A hard-boiled egg sliced into a whole wheat pita, oatmeal with fruit, and whole grain toast with natural peanut butter are all healthy choices. If you don't have time to buy breakfast in the morning, try to keep items in your room that you can prepare before and potentially have in class with you. The second strategy is to stay hydrated with water. The body needs water. In fact, the Institute of Medicine recommends about 13 cups of fluid for men and about 9 cups of fluid for women. Being hydrated is an easy and inexpensive way to increase energy levels. You don't need vitamin water or sports drinks. They detract from your food budget. Keep a fresh water source with you at all times and drink throughout the day. Try adding lemons, limes, or oranges for taste variety. If you do need caffeine, opt for more whole choices like coffee or tea that aren't loaded with sugar and other processed ingredients. The third strategy is to create balanced meals and snacks for lasting energy. All food groups work together, acting as fuel for our bodies, providing us with essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. In order for us to have lasting energy, it's important we choose the best options from each group. Choose complex carbohydrates like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, and brown rice. Refined carbohydrates, those made with white flour and white sugar, will actually cause your energy to plummet and contain little to no fiber. Not consuming enough protein during the day can also be a primary reason for fatigue. Protein-based foods provide the body with fuel to repair and build tissues. Pairing complex carbs with protein helps sustain our blood sugar levels, providing us with longer-lasting energy. Aim for lean protein sources such as grilled chicken and fish. Other non-meat sources of protein include nuts, beans, milk, yogurt, eggs, cheese, and tofu. Finally, fat acts as the long-burning fuel for our bodies. Fats from food take the longest to digest and help us to absorb certain vitamins and minerals. Aim for healthy fats found in nuts, nut butters, avocados, and olive oil. So remember, the best way to keep our energy levels up is by creating balanced meals with smart carbs, lean protein, and healthy fats. The next strategy is eat the right amount for your body. Skimping on nutrients decreases your metabolism and causes you to feel lethargic. Just as undereating can lead to fatigue, overeating puts the body in overdrive, channeling tremendous amounts of energy to digest and absorb the large amounts of food consumed. How many of you want to curl up and nap after a big meal? After a large meal, blood sugar levels spike and the body responds by increasing insulin production. Insulin removes sugar from the blood, ultimately leading to fatigue. So how do you know what's the right amount for your body? Remember that it takes about 20 minutes from the time you start eating for your brain to send out signals of fullness. Check in with yourself as you are eating and try not to eat too fast so your body can register its level of fullness. There is a difference between appetite and hunger, so try to get in the habit of assessing how hungry you are and only eat the amount you need to feel satisfied and energized again. And finally, one of the best strategies to prevent the afternoon slump is to plan ahead. Do you think about your meals based on your schedule for the day? Just like you plan ahead to study for tests, hopefully, you should set yourself up for success by planning your meals ahead of time. If you know that your body doesn't react well to eating a full meal before class, then grab a light snack or prepare bulk snack items that are easy to grab and go. Eating nutritious snacks between meals prevents overeating and helps to maintain blood sugar levels throughout the day. Another way planning ahead works is for balancing your meals. If you know that you're going to eat pizza for lunch, then try to eat more fruits and vegetables at breakfast and dinner. Do you have trouble remembering to eat? Think about setting an alarm every 2 to 4 hours to remind yourself. So as you can see, there are some easy, simple, yet important ways that nutrition can influence your energy levels. Did you find one strategy that will work for you and write it down on your worksheet?
All right, thank you, Tyler. So let's move on. We talked about how to fuel our body so that it helps our physical and intellectual components of wellness, but what about moving our body? Movement is another important factor to staying alert and attentive in classes, and making sure you get enough physical activity can help both in the short and long term. It is very closely linked with increasing and maintaining energy and focus and helps relieve stress. And even though we all know we should move our bodies on a regular basis, do you think you get as much physical activity as you should on a consistent basis? It can be really hard to make sure we are prioritizing physical activity and doing so on a regular and consistent basis. So let's talk about some strategies that can potentially help you fit regular movement into your lifestyle consistently. The first strategy we can use is making every step count. So starting a workout routine or getting back into the habit of a routine you have been in previously doesn't have to go from 0 to 60. The American Council on Exercise recommends that adults engage in at least 2.5 hours or 30 minutes daily for 5 days a week of weekly moderate intensity aerobic activity. For more health benefits, it's recommended to exercise 5 hours a week at a moderate pace. More fit individuals can opt for 1.25 hours of weekly vigorous exercise, such as jogging, race walking, swimming laps, jumping rope, or hiking uphill, and increase training to 2.5 hours a week for greater health benefits. At least twice a week, incorporate strength training exercise. This can include exercise that uses body weight, such as push-ups or sit-ups, or exercises that incorporate weight training. You can also carry heavy loads. Sedentary adults and those with medical conditions should consult their physicians before embarking on an exercise program. You don't have to hit the gym to meet these requirements. Examples can include parking far away and walking to your destination, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or taking the long way to class, or running to class. Our next step is to give your body a break and take time to recover. If you are incorporating strength-based exercises into your workout, make sure you are getting enough rest, not just in between sets, but between workouts. Overextension of the body during exercise can increase your chance of injury. Allowing muscles to rest and regenerate between challenging workouts will keep your muscle building goals on track and help prevent overuse injuries due to overtraining. Evidence supports the practice of waiting 72 hours before training the same muscle group again to allow for adequate muscle repair, especially for exercisers who employ multi-set training. The next step we suggest is use physical activity as a boost before class. So exercise stimulates the body to secrete the stress hormone cortisol, which helps activate the alerting mechanism in the brain. This can also help you get an energy boost before class. Researchers have found that sedentary, otherwise healthy adults who engage in as little as 20 minutes of low to moderate aerobic exercise 3 days a week for 6 consecutive weeks reported feeling less fatigued and more energized. Remember to think outside of the box. Have a 40-minute break. Do some exercises. Ride your bike a stationary bike while you're studying. Take a walk with a friend and quiz each other for your upcoming test. If it's easier for you to incorporate movement into your evening schedule, it is recommended to exercise at least 3 hours before bed, as exercise will inhibit your ability to fall asleep. Finally, do activities that spark joy. You can make fitness fun by choosing activities you actually enjoy doing and change an obligation into an activity you look forward to. One of the most common reasons people quit a fitness routine is due to a lack of interest or time. By incorporating activities you enjoy, you can include your interests and be more likely to make time for it. Some good examples of this are swimming laps, going surfing, riding a bike fast or on hills, going for a hike, playing football, or joining a pickup game of basketball. If you're unsure of what types of activities would interest you, try many different activities until you find something you like. There are a variety of group fitness classes on and off campus that are engaging and will teach you correct form and posture. They can also motivate you to attend classes on a consistent basis. All right, so have you selected one strategy that you think is going to work best for you?
Thank you, Jamie. Now we're going to move on to sleep. Sleep, of course, is huge when it comes to performing your best academically. In fact, consistent lack of sleep can temporarily lower your IQ. In addition to impeding on your academic potential, being tired can be an even bigger issue when you are trying to pay attention and retain information in class. Of course, tiredness can sneak up on you at any time, but it can be especially problematic during the afternoon fatigue we've been talking about today. Now, it is pretty obvious that getting plenty of good quality restorative sleep will help prevent these afternoon dips in energy and focus. But we realize this is easier said than done. The first strategy for getting better sleep is to create a sleep sanctuary. When it comes to quality sleep, there are some important environmental factors that can prevent you from sleeping well at night. For example, having a room that is too hot or too cold can prevent quality sleep. With the occasional heat streaks that we experience, it can be important to invest in a fan. Some people need silence, some people don't mind noise, and some people need white noise like a fan or soothing sounds to help them sleep deeply. Additionally, a dark room is the best for sleeping. Now, this might be hard to accomplish if you have a roommate who is up late studying, as having lights on can disrupt your deep sleep cycles. Try wearing an eye mask or see if you and your roommate can agree to study in the library instead of in your room. And most importantly, use your bed for the two important S's, sex and sleep. If you prep your mind and body to associate your bed with only these two activities, you will have less trouble falling asleep when your head hits the pillow. Next, we want you to actually schedule your sleep time. Sleep is just as important, if not more important, than many other activities that contribute to your health, happiness, and academic success. So schedule it accordingly. According to the National Sleep Foundation, most people need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. This is different for everyone. So start by being in tune with your body and learn how much you need to feel rested. Once you pinpoint that, start actually blocking off time for sleeping in your calendar. The same calendar you use for important assignments, work, and parties. All the things you think are important enough to write down and remember. When you have a deadline for an assignment or a project, does it help you work harder to make sure you finish it on time? This same principle can be applied to sleep. If you know that 11 p.m. is the time you go to bed, you will likely work harder and faster to meet this deadline and avoid unnecessary distractions. You can also track your sleep. Track when you go to sleep and wake up and your total sleep time. You can also report how you're feeling each day when you wake up compared to your energy levels throughout the day. You can use sleep diaries or get an app on your phone. Knowing how much sleep you need helps you schedule it correctly. If you have a hard time falling asleep, you may want to try decompressing before bedtime. Now, many people do this by checking Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, following up on emails, or even watching their favorite shows to unwind. While all of this can be relaxing and it's a nice departure from thinking about school, work, and studying, this can really detract from your ability to fall asleep. The bright light of a computer screen, phone, TV, or other electronic device may alter the body's biological clock and suppress the natural production of melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that is critical to the normal sleep-wake cycle. Instead, try reading a book for pleasure, doing some meditation, which can help with stress, which is another common reason for insomnia, taking a warm shower, or listening to some soothing music. You want to relax your mind, all while avoiding screens. We also want you to be mindful about what and when you are drinking when it comes to getting quality sleep. Many college students drink lots of caffeine to help them wake up, be alert, and stay focused. However, this can also be affecting your sleep in a serious way. And if your sleep is being negatively affected by your caffeine intake, then you are just going to need more caffeine to combat your sleepiness. It can become a vicious cycle. Try to keep your caffeine intake to 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day if you feel you need it, and really try to drink it before noon or early afternoon. Too close to bedtime, and it can have you tossing and turning. Additionally, some people have a nightcap or a drink or two to help them calm their mind and feel sleepy. This can definitely help you fall asleep faster, but alcohol gets in the way of your REM sleep, the restorative part of the sleep cycle. Choosing alcohol to help you sleep is a quick fix Band-Aid. It works in the moment, but leaves you more tired than ever in the morning. We also don't want you to depend on napping to get your sleep in. Naps can be awesome and can help re-energize and revitalize. But if you're going to nap, try to focus on power naps, which are about 30 to 45 minutes in length. Sleeping for longer may cause you to wake up feeling groggy or more tired, and there's a good chance you might decide to skip class and stay in your comfortable bed instead. Additionally, you may make it very hard to fall asleep the next night if you nap for too long. It's important to understand that you can't bank sleep. You can't make up for an all-nighter by getting a 4-hour nap the next day, or for a whole week of getting barely any sleep by sleeping a ton on the weekend. It's really important to get consistent sleep. We realize that your life is not always consistent, but as much as possible, if you can get on a consistent sleep schedule, you will feel rested and your body will respond better to waking up and going to sleep easier and faster.
All right, so the last topic we'll cover today in terms of staying alert in the afternoon is stress management. In this section, we are going to start seeing the dimensions of wellness come back into play. As we discussed, all of the dimensions of wellness are interconnected and impact each other. This is particularly obvious in this section, especially when you think about how your physical wellness, such as nutrition, movement, and sleep, interacts with your emotional wellness or stress management. When you don't deal with your stress, this can take a toll on your physical, emotional, and intellectual well-being, distracting you from performing at your highest level and causing you to spread yourself too thin, and possibly even resorting to checking out on some of your responsibilities altogether. This is highly related to academic performance overall, but also to afternoon classes specifically. If you are already tired, lethargic, and unmotivated, adding in being distracted by stress and anxiety can create the perfect storm for zoning out an afternoon class. Let's discuss some strategies to help minimize some of the stress you feel and to cope with the inevitable stressors that will arise during your time here at SDSU. So our first strategy when dealing with stress is to listen to your body. Many times we get so caught up in being productive, social, and goal-oriented that we don't realize stress is building until it takes over and causes us to have a mini breakdown. We don't want to get to this point. Stress and anxiety often manifest themselves in both physical and mental symptoms, such as stomach aches, irritability, insomnia, confusion, inability to concentrate, and increased likelihood of getting sick due to lowered immune functioning. It has become pretty normalized to go through college at a high level of stress, but this is very counterproductive. If you're listening to your body and realizing that your stress level is becoming a problem, you'll be able to start implementing stress management and coping techniques. So this really should be your first line of defense in protecting yourself from becoming overwhelmed by stress. The next strategy we want to propose is to talk and connect with others. It is very important that you're doing this. Discussing how you feel and venting to close friends or family members is healthy and can be a very freeing experience. This is a great coping mechanism. Sometimes we're on such a roll getting things done and completing our many obligations that we forget to connect with each other on a deeper level. This can also alleviate stress in and of itself. Also, the more you put yourself out there, others will feel they can come to you for the same thing. And it is actually incredibly good for your self-esteem, confidence, and mental health to help and assist others. Think about setting up a standing time to have a phone call, grab a cup of coffee, or take a walk with a friend where you can recap about what's been going on in the last week. Now, outside of talking to friends and family, we have an incredibly great counseling and psychological services department you can take advantage of. They offer individual and couples counseling as well as group workshops and talk it out. You can use their services to speak to a counselor or therapist. They are amazing at helping you identify coping mechanisms and strategies that will work for you when it comes to managing stress. If you don't feel comfortable talking to someone one-on-one, they also have very effective and informative group workshops to learn about dealing with stress. We all know that life comes with inevitable stressors, But workshops like this can help provide you with a great toolkit for handling stress during college, and that'll carry over into your life post-college. You will learn meditation techniques, communication skills, and other coping methods. We also want you to have your very own go-to coping methods. Once you search around and find activities that help you de-stress, you can rely on those methods and have them as your go-tos. Having these in your back pocket and knowing they work will help you feel more confident about using them and likely increase the chances that you resort to a healthy way of dealing with stress rather than an unhealthy coping strategy. Here are some options for healthy coping methods. Do yoga or meditation for more of a focus on mind and body. Watch one of your favorite shows for a break. Just make sure you avoid that Netflix binge. Read a book for pleasure, or take a night off. Maintain a really good work-life balance. You can also research additional healthy coping methods. You can ask friends for their tips, or use any of the other things we've talked about today. We also want to encourage you to visit Student Life in Leadership. The Commuter Center at SLL offers a tremendous amount of services and workshops to our students, and we want you to take advantage of them. But for the purposes of managing your stress, you can attend workshops and seminars about time management. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you manage your time and work more effectively, you should experience less stress and have fewer problems with procrastination. How many people have had a hard time focusing when they are stressed about an upcoming deadline? Me too. Better time management also means that you can focus on the tasks you have at hand. You can visit Student Life and Leadership's website to find out when they're hosting workshops and presentations. All right, did you get your strategy written down for stress management?
Okay, so now go ahead and take a couple minutes and choose one goal that you're going to focus on this week. Will it be nutrition, movement, sleep, or stress management? As you can see, we covered 3 of these sections pretty heavily today. And as we went through the barriers to staying alert and refreshed in classes, it was quite obvious that there was a lot of overlap in these categories. It is really important to remember that we do in one part of our wellness life will greatly affect many, if not all, of the others. Wellness and well-being are interconnected, and we want you to realize that taking care of your body and mind will have a direct correlation on your intellectual and academic success. So take these goals, implement them, and stay awake during those afternoon classes.